Let's start, Pierre, with you from the analyst side on the positivity, perhaps, that you saw in some of Tesla's Investor Day yesterday, if any. Was there anything that got you excited, Pierre?
Hey, Dom, thanks for having me. Yes, it was a very interesting, very rich day, very rich in terms of learning. I think what Tesla did, really having us in Austin during a full day, visiting the factory and spending time with a dozen members of the management team to go over a lot of what the company is doing today, is giving us a lot of flesh, which stands behind what you just mentioned, which is a plan to support the transition to like an old renewable world and towards 20 million units, 20 million cars. So like 10 times more the run rate they could achieve with the factories they have today, and also towards producing 1 terawatt hours of energy storage capacity. And so to get there and to make money on the way, to remain very profitable, there is a lot to deliver. That's really getting into these details that Tesla did during that day. And I found the overall story very credible. What we saw is really what Tesla is capable of doing and what other car manufacturers are going to struggle with. That's their ability to innovate on the manufacturing front, on really all what makes a car, not only the battery, but also like the electric motor, the electronics inside the car, the manufacturing process, putting apart really the way cars are being manufactured today, to come up with significantly more efficient ways to do so.
Sure.
Compartmentalizing the manufacturing of the car. So that's really like in all these details, all that flesh that comes around the vision that the day was extremely useful for investors.
All right, so Pierre, that's the kind of bullish macro case here. Gordon Johnson, we know that you have not been the biggest fan of Tesla. In fact, you have a pretty dire outlook for the valuation of this company overall. The rest of Wall Street seems to be agreeing with you, at least in part, given the 5 to 6% drop in Tesla shares that we're watching right now on the heels of the Investor Day. So did anything happen yesterday to make you more bearish on Tesla, or are you a little bit more measured about it now?
Dom, thanks for having me. Pierre, good to see you. Let's talk specifics. So essentially what you had is you have a bunch of fanboys and Tesla cheerleaders like Pierre that are writing checks that they can't cash. And let me say specifically what I'm talking about. Headed into the much hyped Investor Day, Tesla talked about, or the fanboys talked about, either a new model being produced, that they were going to talk about the severely delayed Cybertruck, when that was going to come out. They were going to introduce a new affordable $25,000 car, or they were going to announce new things around robo-taxis, which Kathy Wood had talked about a lot. None of that happened. In fact, what happened was for 3 hours, Tesla spoke in vagaries, and you had a bunch of engineers come up and talk about things that Tesla has already done. And the CFO refused to talk about any numbers. In fact, he said he's not going to talk about Q1 and Q2. Why? Why is he not talking about that? Let's discuss that briefly. Thus far this year, fundamentally, it has been a horror show for Tesla. What do I mean? They've engaged in margin-slashing price cuts. In fact, they're offering cars in China now in the $30,000 range. And despite that fact, the first 8 weeks of the first quarter, if you look at their cars sold per day versus the first 8 weeks of the fourth quarter, it's down 20.1%. They are getting annihilated in China by the competition. And you're seeing the same thing in Europe, where their inventory is stacking up despite aggressive price cuts. Let's just think about this, Dom. Let's just talk about the numbers. They did about just under $10,000 per car in profit in the fourth quarter. They've cut prices by about $6,000 per car. So if you assume they get $1,000 per car of price savings and modest price hikes, you're talking about an EPS number, assuming they can sell 1.8 million cars this year,
right,
of under $3. That's a multiple of 70 times earnings in an industry that trades at 6 times. Right now, Tesla is valued at more than the next 6 largest automakers combined, despite selling just 4% of the cars that those automakers have sold on a trailing 12-month basis.
All right.
And when you consider all that, right, they're struggling to sell cars right now, massive price cuts, margins coming down significantly, and 2 of their plants are running at 20 to 40% utilization. This is a pending, we think, problem for Tesla.
Okay.
And to speak in vagaries, as I think Pierre did, and not focus on those facts, I think is why there's going to be some negative surprises later this year.
All right. Well, it's good to know that whatever happened yesterday hasn't changed either of your minds with regard to the bull-bear case on Tesla. We've got a limited amount of time left. And with that, I want to give each of you guys a kind of final word. All right. And perhaps, Pierre, we'll start with you. You know, Gordon makes some interesting points with regard to the valuation specifically. Is there anything that you can respond with regard to just how much Tesla is worth compared to what it's actually producing? Or is it all about the promise in the future, which are, by the way, vagaries by their very nature because it's a vision and not necessarily a hard forecast?
Thanks, Dom. You know, valuation is all about the future, right? No company is valued on past performance or what happened in the past. It's only valued on what's happening in the future. So here you're facing a choice. You can listen to like the story, the picture Gordon just painted, which is about a company that visibly barely knows how to make a car and how to sell a car and how to manage the transition of the world towards like a renewable economy. Or you can listen to what the company has set as a goal, which is 20 million units and a terawatt hours of energy storage capacity that they want to roll out ASAP. So what does Tesla look like with that kind of master plan being executed?
Sure.
That $700 billion of revenues in autos, like to $300 billion of revenues in energy storage. We are talking $1 trillion in revenues. It's a very high margin business.
Right.
Tesla has demonstrated they can do cars very efficiently and defend very, very good margins. So you're talking $200-300 billion of EBIT, which, you know, for a company growing reasonably well, you know, can trade on a 25 times maybe multiple. So we're talking $5 trillion of market cap on achieving that vision. So that leaves the stock with a lot of upside.
Okay.
And we know, let's see what happens in China in the next few months for Tesla and see how it stacks up against Gordon's perspective.
All right. So, Gordon, with that being said, I'm going to give you the final word here. What is it going to take for Tesla to change your mind about this extreme bear case that you have on them?
Yeah, I don't think it's extreme. I'm just valuing them at how the automakers are valued. But when Pierre talks about 20 million cars sold by 2030, if you look at the amount of cars that Tesla sold last quarter, to get to that number, they would literally need to build a new plant every quarter, fully sold out for the next literally 12 years. Clearly, they're not going to do that. So you can't just throw these numbers out there and just, you know, put a multiple on it and say that's what it's worth. One thing. Number two, Master Plan Part 2 in 2017. Elon Musk said he was going to build a high-density passenger transport, and he said he was going to have autonomous robo-taxis on the road by 2020. They have not gotten anywhere close to achieving that plan. Elon Musk has said he was going to make ventilators. He said that he was going to have a $25,000 car. He said he had funding secured to go private. He said he was going to have 20 million robo-taxis on the road by 2020. I could go on and on.
Sure.
The point is, Elon Musk has made a ton of promises he has not delivered on. And when people say, well, he makes promises and then he delivers.
All right, Gordon.
Well, when he filed a 13G versus the 13D, when he put up the fake solar panels to justify the acquisition of Solar City, when he said he had funding secured, those weren't, you know, promises that he was going to deliver on. Those were just mistruths.
All
so
right.
To believe what Elon Musk says at this point, we think is like, you know, believing the kid in middle school that said his dad beat Michael Jordan in basketball. I think Tesla has big problems, and I think you got to consider that.